Question 1. Through the lens of RSA Archer platform configuration, Samuel Architect is designing a workflow that involves multiple departments submitting risk assessments, which should be reviewed only by their respective team leads. However, due to a misconfiguration in access control, all users can view and edit risk assessments across all departments. Samuel wants to implement role-based access control (RBAC), but is unsure how to dynamic assignments based on department. What is the most effective configuration approach to solve Samuel's problem? A. Create a separate application for each department to isolate access by design. B. Use calculated fields to dynamically assign ownership and configure field-level permissions accordingly. C. Assign static user groups to each risk record manually to maintain visibility control. D. Rely on workflow actions to restrict visibility rather than access control configuration. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Calculated fields enable dynamic assignment of record ownership or access based on values like department or business unit. When paired with record-level permissions and field-level access control in RSA Archer, this offers flexible, scalable RBAC implementation. Option A. Lacks scalability. Option C is manual and error-prone. Option D misunderstands the difference between workflow and access control. This aligns with the RSA Archer platform administration best practices. Question 2. When analyzing risk mitigation efforts within RSA Archer, Olivia noticed that despite mitigation plans being marked complete, residual risk scores remain unchanged. Upon investigation, she found that mitigation plan updates are not automatically recalculating the risk score. What should Olivia verify to ensure risk scoring reflects mitigation status dynamically? A. The calculated risk score field is triggered on status change of mitigation plans. B. Risk scoring is manually updated by risk owners post-mitigation completion. C. A workflow action is recalculating the risk score during the record save process. D. There is an integration with external systems recalculating risk scores offline. Answer. Correct answer A. Explanation. For real-time residual risk calculation, RSA Archer should trigger recalculations via calculated fields or on-demand value recalculations based on status changes of mitigation plans. Without this, risk scores remain static. This aligns with RSA Archer's risk scoring methodology and platform configuration principles. Option B is error-prone and C may not be sufficient without triggering events. Option D adds unnecessary complexity unless using external risk engines. Question 3. Based on the information available, which of the following best defines the key distinction between RSA Archer's assessment and audit engagement applications in the context of compliance management? A. Assessments are internal, while audits are always performed by external parties. B. Audit engagements track testing of controls over time, while assessments are ad hoc validations. C. Assessments are mandatory under compliance laws, but audits are optional. D. Audit engagements include remediation workflows, but assessments do not. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. RSA Archer distinguishes between assessments, focused often periodic validations of specific requirements or controls, and audit engagements, structured, trackable, formal testing over time, often with remediation processes. Option A is incorrect. Both can be internal or external. C is too broad and not technically accurate. D misstates Archer's flexibility. Both can include remediation but differ in structure. This followed GRC best practices in structured compliance management. Question 4. A critical examination of risk scoring methodologies reveals that two business units in the same enterprise are using different scoring scales, e.g. 1.5 versus 1.10. No GRC strategist is tasked with consolidating enterprise-wide risk reporting at RSA Archer. What is the most appropriate approach to harmonize risk scoring across units? A. Enforce single enterprise-wide scoring scale and convert existing data accordingly. B. Retain local scoring but add custom dashboards to normalize values. C. Maintain both scales but tag records for manual review during reporting. D. Create third intermediate application to translate scores between models. Answer. Correct answer A. Explanation. To ensure comparability and consistency in enterprise risk posture, harmonizing on A unified scoring methodology is essential. RSA Archer supports standardized calculated fields and scoring logic for this purpose. Option B introduces ambiguity. Option C is inefficient. Option D is unnecessarily complex. This aligns with enterprise risk management principles under ISO 31000 and COSO frameworks, which recommend standardized metrics for risk aggregation. Question 5. During the process of integrating RSA Archer with third-party compliance data feeds, SERA, a compliance manager, needs to ensure that the imported data automatically aligns with existing regulatory content. Which configuration element in RSA Archer would best support this automatic alignment? A. Custom object scripting to trigger record updates post-import. B. Reference mapping using data feeds with cross-reference fields. C. Manual tagging of imported records using calculated fields. D. Adding a workflow action to ask users to match content post-import. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Data feeds the RSA Archer support cross-reference mapping to link imported data. G. Regulations controls with existing records automatically. This enhances automation and accuracy. Option A adds maintenance overhead. Option C contradicts automation goals. Option D adds unnecessary user burden. RSA Archer documentation supports using reference mapping for robust, automated integration aligned with compliance reporting standards. Question 6. In the context of third-party governance, Rafik, a risk officer, discovers that a key vendor has subcontracted work to another company not disclosed during onboarding. Given RSA Archer's capabilities and best practices in managing fourth-party risk, what should Rafik do first? A. Immediately terminate the vendor contract due to policy violation. B. Update the third-party record to reflect the fourth party and assess associated risks. C. Escalate the issue to the legal department without any system changes. D. Create a new record in a separate application to track the fourth party independently. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. RSA Archer's third-party governance use case allows organizations to track fourth-party relationships and assess their risks. Updating existing records maintains continuity and facilitates reassessment. Option A is premature without assessment. Option C is incomplete. Option D fragments data. This approach aligns with regulatory expectations like OC 2013-29 and best practices in extended enterprise risk management. Question 7. The prevailing attitude toward dashboard use in RSA Archer is that visualizations can replace detailed reporting for all stakeholders. However, which of the following statements reflects a limitation of dashboards in strategic GRC decision-making? A. Dashboards cannot support real-time data feeds. B. Dashboards are too technical for most users to understand. C. Dashboards lack the narrative context needed for high-level decisions. D. Dashboards require admin rights to access. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. While dashboards in RSA Archer are powerful for quick visualization, they often lack context, assumptions, and narrative insights that executives need for informed strategic decisions. Option A is incorrect. Dashboards can use near real-time data. Option B underestimates user training. Option D is false. Access is role-based, not necessarily admin-only. The best practice is to use dashboards alongside detailed risk compliance narratives. Question 8. From a practical standpoint, Jonah is asked to configure RSA Archer's record-level access in a new policy management application. Policies must be viewable by all users, but editable only by policy owners. Which access control strategy best fits this requirement? A. Use application-level permissions to grant view and edit rights to owners. B. Assign global edit rights and restrict deletion permissions. C. Implement record-level permissions with calculated groups for ownership. D. Set field-level permissions to hide edit options from non-owners. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Record-level permissions with dynamic group assignments, e.g. calculated groups, allow precise control, enabling visibility to all and edit rights to owners only. Option A doesn't offer record granularity. Option B grants excessive power. Option D is too limited. It only affects fields, not records. This is best practice in RSA Archer configuration for sensitive applications like policy management. Question 9. To illustrate this point, Mr. Liang is tasked with evaluating the effectiveness of control frameworks within the RSA Archer platform. He observes that many controls pass testing but fail to reduce associated risks. What is the most plausible reason for this discrepancy? A. Control testing results are outdated and need revalidation. B. Controls are poorly linked to their respective risk records. C. Testers are not properly trained in Archer's testing methodology. D. Control performance is subjective and not measurable. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. If controls aren't properly linked to risk records, the RSA Archer, even successful tests won't impact risk posture. Risk to control mapping is essential for dynamic risk recalculation. Option A may contribute but isn't the root cause. C may affect quality but doesn't cause linkage failure. D is incorrect. Controls can be objectively measured. Best practices emphasize correct relationships in the data model. Question 10. A key distinction between RSA Archer's application configuration and workflow design lies in their purpose. What best describes this distinction? A. Applications handle data structure while workflows manage visual themes. B. Applications define user roles while workflows define password policies. C. Applications store and relate data, while workflows govern record state transitions. D. Applications handle dashboard logic, while workflows manage dashboard access. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. RSA Archer applications are used to define how data is stored, structured, and related. Workflows are used to guide the movement of data through different states, e.g. draft, review, approved. Option A is irrelevant. Option B confuses platform security with applications. Option D misinterprets workflow functions. Understanding this distinction is core to designing effective RSA Archer solutions. Question 11. Given the circumstances, Maria, at EUATECT, is implementing RSA Archer's vendor risk module. She needs to ensure that when vendor is assessed and risks are identified, the related risk treatment plans are automatically assigned to the appropriate vendor management team members based on risk severity. What is the best way to achieve this automation within RSA Archer? A. Configure workflow-based notifications and manual task assignments to the vendor management team. B. Use dynamic group assignments with calculated fields based on risk severity to auto-assign treatment plans. C. Rely on periodic manual review meetings to allocate treatment plans. D. Use external email triggers linked to risk scoring thresholds outside RSA Archer. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Dynamic group assignments with calculated fields allow RSA Archer to automatically assign responsibilities based on data attributes such as risk severity. This enables scalable, automated treatment plan delegation aligned with governance best practices. Option A is partially manual and less efficient. Option C delays responsiveness. Option D adds unnecessary complexity and reduces control within Archer. Question 12. Considering the evidence, Thomas is configuring RSA Archer for compliance with multiple regulatory frameworks, each having overlapping but distinct control requirements. He wants to minimize duplication and facilitate control reuse. Which RSA Archer feature should Thomas leverage? A. Use separate control libraries per framework without cross-linking. B. Implement a shared control repository and link controls to multiple frameworks. C. Duplicate controls with framework-specific versions for clarity. D. Assign unique control owners per framework to prevent conflicts. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. RSA Archer supports a shared control repository that allows controls to be linked to multiple frameworks, avoiding duplication and improving efficiency in control management. This promotes consistent control testing and reporting. Option A causes fragmentation. Option C leads to inefficiencies and inconsistencies. Option D is about ownership, not reuse, and does not reduce duplication. Question 13. In light of recent developments, Linda notices that risk assessments in RSA Archer are delayed because many risk owners do not complete attestations on time. She wants to implement an attestation campaign that includes automated reminders and escalation paths. What is the best RSA Archer feature to support this? A. Use built-in campaign management with configured notifications and escalation workflows. B. Rely on manual email reminders from compliance officers. C. Integrate third-party email tools to send reminders externally. D. Add mandatory fields on risk records to force completion before progressing. Answer. Correct answer A. Explanation. RSA Archer's campaign management functionality allows scheduled automated attestations with configurable notifications and escalation workflows, streamlining compliance activities. Option B is manual and error-prone. Option C adds complexity outside Archer. Option D enforces data completion but doesn't manage reminders or escalations effectively. Question 14. From the perspective of security operations integration, Rajiv aims to connect vulnerability findings from a scanner directly into RSA Archer's vulnerability management module. What is the most efficient method to achieve accurate, automated import of these findings? A. Manually upload CSV files exported from the scanner wiki. B. Use RSA Archer's REST API integration for real-time data ingestion. C. Copy-paste vulnerability details into Archer records. D. Create separate application to track vulnerabilities manually. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. The RSA Archer REST API allows seamless automated real-time integration of vulnerability data, improving accuracy and timeliness. Option A is manual and prone to delay errors. Option C is inefficient. Option D duplicates effort and does not leverage automation benefits. Question 15. Under the assumption that multiple GRC stakeholders in a company want to see consolidated reports on risk posture but have different needs, will RSA Archer approach best accommodates this requirement? They develop a single, universal dashboard with all data exposed to everyone. B. Create role-based dashboards tailored to stakeholder-specific views and permissions. C. Export data to spreadsheets for stakeholder customization outside Archer. D. Limit reporting to GRC team only and distribute static ES. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Role-based dashboards respect data privacy, provide relevant insights, and improve user experience within RSA Archer. This approach aligns with best practice in GRC reporting and stakeholder engagement. Option A risks data overload and exposure. Option C reduces control and real-time insight. Option D limits accessibility and interaction. Question 16. Throughout the course of configuring policy exception management, Nadia finds that users request exceptions frequently, but many lack proper justification or approval workflow. Which RSA Archer features should be configured to enforce stricter control over policy exceptions? A. Enable mandatory exception justification fields and approval workflows. B. Disable policy exceptions altogether. C. Allow informal email approvals outside the system. D. Use manual exception logging without system tracking. Answer. Correct answer A. Explanation. Enforcing mandatory justification and workflow approvals ensures exceptions are documented, reviewed, and authorized, enhancing governance rigor within RSA Archer. Option B is often unrealistic in dynamic environments. Options C and D reduce auditability and compliance. Question 17. By comparing two RSA Archer applications, one using flat data structures and the other employing complex relationships, Maya is trying to understand performance implications. What is the primary trade-off she should consider? A. Flat structures are harder to maintain but offer better performance. B. Complex relationships improve flexibility but can reduce query performance. C. Flat structures allow better user interface customization than complex ones. D. Complex relationships make data imports impossible. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Complex data relationships RSA Archer support richer modeling but can slow query response times and increase maintenance complexity. Flat structures are simpler and faster but less flexible. This is a fundamental consideration in Archer application design, balancing performance and capability. Question 18. In summary of best practices in risk identification and assessment within RSA OCHA, what is the most effective way to ensure consistent risk scoring across multiple business units? A. Allow each unit to develop its own scoring methodology for relevance. B. Define and enforce a standardized scoring framework enterprise-wide. C. Use qualitative descriptions only to avoid confusion with numbers. D. Leave scoring to individual risk owners without oversight. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. A standardized scoring framework ensures consistency, comparability, and consolidated risk reporting enterprise-wide. This aligns with ISO 31000 and COSO standards. Options A, C, and D, introducing consistency and reduce risk management effectiveness. Question 19. Across different scenarios, Jason faces challenges in troubleshooting RSA OCHA system performance. Which approach is the most methodical and aligned with RSA OCHA administration best practices? A. Immediately increasing server hardware resources without analysis. B. Reviewing system logs and metrics to identify bottlenecks before applying fixes. C. Restarting the application server daily is a routine fix. D. Removing customizations to return to a vanilla OCHA system. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Best practice in RSA OCHA system maintenance is first to diagnose via logs and performance metrics, to identify root causes, and then apply targeted fixes. This ensures efficient resource use and minimal disruption. Options A, C, and D are either costly, ineffective, or disruptive. Question 20. For the purpose of compliance reporting automation, PREA is deciding between using RSA OCHA's native reporting tools versus exporting data to an external BI platform. What is the key advantage of using RSA OCHA's native reporting? A. Greater flexibility in data visualization than any BI tool. B. Real-time access to LibDRC data with built-in security controls. C. Ability to export reports faster than BI tools. D. Less need for user training compared to BI platforms. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Native RSA OCHA reports access live data secured by OCHA's granular permissions, reducing latency and security risks of data export, while BI tools offer advanced visualization. Native reporting ensures data integrity and compliance with governance controls. Options A, C, and D do not capture this critical security and data governance advantage. Question 21. When faced with a scenario where multiple risk owners submit inconsistent risk assessments for similar risks in different departments, how should EMINA or OEID best address this inconsistency within RSA OCHA to ensure reliable risk data for enterprise reporting? A. Enforce mandatory training on the risk scoring methodology before assessments. B. Implement a centralized review and approval process for all risk assessments. C. Disable risk owner submissions and only allow a central team to enter risk data. D. Allow risk owners to submit assessments freely but add disclaimers on reports. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. A centralized review and approval process in RSA OCHA ensures quality control and consistency in risk scoring, enabling trustworthy enterprise-level reporting, while training it supports understanding. It does not enforce consistency. Option C limits ownership and agility. Option D neglects data integrity, which is critical under RSA SEPROGRC principles. Question 22. In what ways can a risk registry in RSA OCHA be optimized to facilitate continuous risk monitoring across business units with differing risk appetites? A. Use static risk scoring scales with quarterly manual updates. B. Implement dynamic risk scoring with configurable thresholds per unit and automated alerts. C. Limit the risk registry to high-level risks only to simplify monitoring. D. Assign a single risk owner per risk regardless of business unit. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Dynamic risk scoring customized per business unit combined with automated alerts allows responsive continuous monitoring aligned to unit-specific appetites. Static scoring. A. And limiting scope. C. Reduce responsiveness. A single risk owner. D. Neglects risk ownership, distribution, and accountability. Key RSA OCHA risk management. Question 23. Despite the fact that RSA Archer allows complex workflows, David observes that overly complicated workflows in compliance applications increase process delays and user frustration. What is the best approach to workflow design to balance control and usability? A. Design simple workflows with clearly defined steps and only essential approvals. B. Add as many approval layers as possible to cover all compliance requirements. C. Remove workflows altogether to speed up process completion. D. Use external workflow tools instead of Archer's native workflows. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Simplified workflows at RSA Archer improve user adoption and process efficiency while maintaining control. Overly complex workflows. B. Create bottlenecks. C. Risks compliance gaps. And D. Increases integration complexity. Effective GRC balances control with practical usability. Question 24. Taking into account that an organization's third-party vendors frequently update their compliance documentation, how can RSA Archer's third-party governance module ensure documentation is current and valid without manual follow-up? A. Configure recurring attestation campaigns requiring vendors to confirm documentation validity. B. Rely on manual email follow-ups by the third-party risk team. C. Limit document submissions to annual updates only. D. Allow vendors to upload documentation without verification. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Recurring attestation campaigns automate vendor confirmations on document currency, improving accuracy and reducing manual effort. Manual follow-ups. B. Are inefficient. Annual updates only. C. May miss changes. Unverified uploads. D. Risk data integrity and regulatory non-compliance. Question 25. The core principles of user and group management at RSA Archer emphasize which of the following as a best practice for access control? A. Assigning broad roles to users to minimize configuration overhead. B. Using the principle of least privilege with fine-grained access assignments. C. Allowing users to self-assign roles for flexibility. D. Providing access based on seniority rather than role requirements. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. The principle of least privilege ensures users have only necessary access, reducing security risk and improving compliance with governance frameworks. Broad roles. A. Increase exposure. Self-assignment. C. Reduces control. Access by seniority. D. Is not role-based and risks inappropriate permissions. Question 26. According to recent studies, what is the primary benefit of linking policy management with risk and control management at RSA Archer? A. It ensures that all policies are automatically enforced without review. B. It enables clear traceability from policies to risks and controls, enhancing governance visibility. C. It allows policies to be created without stakeholder input. D. It reduces the need for periodic policy reviews. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Linking policies with risks and controls creates transparency and traceability, essential for comprehensive governance and audit readiness. Automatic enforcement. A. Is unrealistic. Policy input. C. Is necessary. Periodic reviews. D. Remain critical. This linkage aligns with DRC best practices at RSA Archer. Question 27. From a historical standpoint, what distinguishes continuous risk monitoring at RSA Archer from traditional periodic risk assessments? A. Continuous risk monitoring uses static data snapshots at fixed intervals. B. It relies on real-time or frequent data feeds and automated alerts for emerging risks. C. It removes the need for any human intervention in risk management. D. It applies only to its security risks. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Continuous monitoring leverages automation and real-time data to proactively identify risk changes, contrasting with periodic static assessments. It still requires human judgment. C. It applies broadly beyond it. D. This practice supports agile risk management per ISO 31000 principles. Question 20. Considering the evidence, how does RSA Archer's data model support the creation of complex relationships between entities like risks, controls, policies, and incidents? A. By using flat tables with no relationship mapping. B. Through related record fields and cross-application relationships that allow bidirectional linking. C. By duplicating data across applications to simulate relationships. D. Using external databases linked separately to Archer. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. RSA Archer's data model supports complex bidirectional relationships via related record fields, enabling comprehensive governance and risk visibility. Flat tables. A. Limit capability. Data duplication. C. Risks inconsistencies. External linkage. D. Adds complexity and potential latency. Question 29. Under the assumption that a compliance team is required to report audit findings to regulators within strict timelines, what RSA Archer feature best facilitates meeting these deadlines? A. Manual report generation when auditors request it. B. Scheduled automated reports with alert notifications for due dates. C. One-time report exports after audit completion. D. Using email reminders alone to notify auditors. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Scheduled reports with alerts automate regulatory reporting processes, ensuring deadlines are met and reducing manual effort. Manual or one-time exports. A. C. Risk delays. Email reminders alone. D. May be missed or ignored. Automation is key in GRC efficiency. Question 30. The implications of poor configuration in RSA Archer's access controls were highlighted when user accidentally accessed sensitive risk data beyond their clearance. What is the most fundamental RSA Archer principle violated in this scenario? A. Segregation of duties. B. Principle of least privilege. C. Role-based access denial. D. Mandatory access control bypass. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. The principle of least privilege mandates users have access only to the information required for their role, limiting exposure. Violating this exposes sensitive data and increases risk. Segregation of duties. A. Relates to conflicting roles but is not the core issue here. C is vague and D is not a standard Archer term.